I think it's going to be lots of fun. Here with us now from Capitol Hill. Let's talk about it later, boys. Republican representative from South Dakota, Congresswoman Kristi Noem, and Democratic representative from Maryland, Congressman Elijah Cummings. What a great group. Good to have you both on board this morning.
Congresswoman, I worked with Elijah for a long time, so I'm not going to start with him.
No.
I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
I know what Elijah's going to say. Congresswoman, what do you think of the what did you think of the speech last night? And anything the president said that you picked up on that thought, oh, hey, you know what? Maybe we can work together as a Congress to get some things done.
Well, you know, there was parts of the president's speech that was certainly inspirational. When he referred to the Army Ranger and told his story, I think it brought all of us to tears. And then he, at the beginning of his speech, talked a lot about rebuilding trust and working together to get things done. And we've had some real agreements over the last several months with the budget deal and the appropriations bill, and today the farm bill that we've all worked together on. I guess I was disappointed that throughout the rest of his speech that he didn't talk more about how we could work together. In fact, it was either my way or the highway, and if you guys don't do it my way, well, then I'm going to ignore you and do it through an executive order. That alarmed people as we went through it. It got very partisan in the middle of that speech, and that was kind of tough to hear.
Quick follow-up before I get to Elijah, but sure. How can we work together? What would be your proposals as to how to actually break through?
Well, I'll just give you one example. The president talked about starting some job training programs and putting Vice President Biden in charge of that. We have the Skills Act that went through the House. I would love to see them try to pull some ideas maybe from that bill, or sit down with the authors of that bill and see if there was some of that we could agree on and do together. That's really the faith and the hope that the American people need right now, is that we all have the ability to sit down and be reasonable individuals and talk and move this country forward.
Your state, you have a low unemployment rate, I think the second lowest in the country at about 3.7%. What role is energy playing in that, and what can Congress learn from some of the things you all are doing to create higher paying jobs in your state?
Well, you know, I'm from South Dakota, so we don't have the energy boom that North Dakota is certainly seeing. But I will tell you that some of the regulations the president talked about last night are alarming for someone like me, who lives in a state where we need energy to stay warm in the wintertime, to stay cool in the summer. It's a long ways to drive anywhere we need to go. And a lot of the sources of that energy that we use, 70 to 80% of comes from the sources that he talked about regulating out of existence in the past. So that's alarming for people through the middle of the country, that that's really the only option that they have right now, and those regulations would only drive up the costs and make it more difficult for people to pay their bills and those businesses to survive. So,
Congresswoman, if he agreed to that, could you support a minimum wage increase if the president laid that out as one of the examples of things he could do to placate Republicans? Could you support some things that Democrats may want?
Yeah, you know, we've got the minimum wage on our ballot in South Dakota this fall. I think that's a perfect way to handle this, is let the people decide. That's not something I'm opposed to, but I do think there needs to be other ideas. In South Dakota, we've kept our taxes low. We've kept our regulations low. We've given people the opportunity to make smart budget decisions. Our state's made smart budget decisions, and we balance our budget every year. That's why we have a low unemployment rate, and businesses are coming there and putting people back to work, and our families do better there.
Congresswoman Kristi Noem and Congressman Elijah Cummings, always good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much.